no idea how this is going to turn out. But,
Do I look fat?
yeah, of course you do.
Oh my god.
It's all a camera, it's not a painting. No, you do not look fat. But I can frame you a little bit better.
You know I have lighting here.
No, this is totally cool. It's just you. Actually, can you move a bit closer to me? Just a touch. Okay. Gonna just move it back up again. Can you look at me, please? Look at the camera. Okay. Good. Right. So it only shoots for about 10 minutes because of battery and all of that.
Hi.
So, can you introduce yourself, name and birth and such like things?
Hello. My name is Enamul born in 1968. I was born in a village called Rusulpur in Dhaka, Bangladesh. Before it was Bangladesh, it was then East Pakistan. What else would you like to know?
How long did you stay in before you came here? And do you want to tell a story about Kai's granddad, your father, and stuff like that?
Yeah, I came to the UK when I was a few months old. My father, Kai's granddad, his name was Abdul Wahab. He came to the UK, I think, in early 60s. And when he was in the UK, he used to work for Belling, I believe, making cookers in a factory. Anyway, I lived in UK from a few months old to say about 6.5, 7 years old. And then from 6.5 to about 11, I lived in Bangladesh, in Rusulpur. My dad decided to go back to Bangladesh for my grandfather's funeral, and then we got stuck in Bangladesh because my father went into politics. He became a district chairman. He was an independent candidate. This was just after Bangladesh became independent. So it was a bit of a lawless land. My mother came from a village called Bhagapur. She's a simple village lady. She didn't have any form of education except for, let's say, Islamic education. And anyway, all my family came to the UK, I think early 69. But my father was here for 10, 12 years before that. And, I don't know what else to say. I have 4 brothers. I think my eldest brother is nearly 70 now. I'm the youngest, and currently I'm 52 years old. 3 of my brothers live in Brighton. 1 lives in London. So my mother's, let's go back to my mum first. My mother's name was Rangi Bibi. Rangi means colourful. Bibi means wife, colourful wife, you know. Anyway, I lived away from my mother most of my life, from the age of 10.5, 11 to now. So my relationship to my mother is literally 2 to 3 weeks per year since I was 11 years old. So it's been kind of like a strange relationship, a loving one, but a strange one. My brothers brought me up, so I lived with one brother for a couple of years, another brother for 2, 3 years, by the time I was 18, I started living on my own. And I've been living on my own ever since, really. As I said, I have 4 brothers and 1 sister. My sister lives in Bangladesh. My brothers are all restaurateurs. So they basically had curry shops in the UK from early 80s onwards. Mostly in Brighton region, so Brighton, Hove, Shoreham, Stenning. I'm the only one that didn't get involved in the restaurant trade. However, I used to help in one of my brother's restaurants for about 6-7 years. Every Friday night, Saturday night and Sunday. So I used to go from London to help in one of my brother's restaurants called the Raja in Shoreham by Sea. And I did that for about 6-7 years. I stopped because they upset me. What else to tell you?
When did you get into photography?
Oh, I've been taking pictures since I was 10, 11 years old. Let's say 11 years old. I became a photographer by accident. So when I was living away from my parents, my brothers used to send me back to see my mum and dad. And one day I stole one of my brother's compact camera and just used up all of his films, taking pictures of kids in the village that were my friends. And then next time I came back to the UK, I bought myself a little camera for I think about £20, £30. And then every year I used to go to Bangladesh. I used to shoot huge amounts of films, like 30, 40 rolls of films. And this was my connection to my parents, really, and the village that I was born in. So I used to come back with all these films. I couldn't afford to process them, so I would process them one a week or one every 2 weeks with my pocket money. And it became a rhythm, so it was my connection to my mum. And so that's how I got into photography, really. Total accident. Accidental photographer. Yeah.
That's nice. And around that time you met Harsha and me and Paul? You met Harsha first, right?
Yeah, I met Harsha when I was 18. I had my first ever job. I applied to a company called Jessop's to be a shop assistant.
Oh, you were both Jessups, or?
Yeah, and then we were sent to Leicester for a training course over 2-3 days, and Harsha happened to be at that training course.
Yeah.
And Harsha was at a different branch to where I was. So I was in Finchley Road. Harsha was in New Oxford Street.
Yeah.
But we both started in Jessop's around about the same time.
I met Harsha because I wanted to get a job at Boots.
Yeah.
In High Street Ken, and they said, no, we don't have anything. I mentioned something about photography, and they said, oh, yeah, you know about that. So they introduced me to Harsha, who was working in Boots at that time.
Yeah.
And nothing became of that, but then for some reason I went to Jessop's in New Oxford Street, and I was this dude, and that's how we all know each other.
Yeah, Harsha was really cool. He had this amazing English accent.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
Yeah, he spoke English better than the English people.
Yeah.
I thought that was quite surprising.
Paul
yeah.
says hi, he texted today.
Hi. Yeah, Paul.
Presley.
Yeah, but I met Paul through Harsha.
Me too.
But from what I understand, Paul and Harsha knew each other much earlier. So I think Paul knew him from 15, 16 onwards, maybe.
Okay, that makes sense.
I know.
We're
believe.
out of recording for this one.
Okay, let's take a break.
Yeah, let's have a tiny little break.